Yo, Elliot! So we got this question from our buddy VKKO. He's got all types of training ADD and it's causing him depression. Really? He basically goes on to say that he loves training, from self-defense training to gym training to calisthenics to plyometrics to training a lot. However, he watches all the sorts of videos that are associated with the different types of training, and then you've got the body weight specialists who train outside, right? You know, kind of like the bar stars, the guys that were here, and they're all excited about their form of training, and they're saying, man, it's free, you need to do this, everybody should train this way, it's the only way to train. And then he watches powerlifting videos and he sees these big massive monsters putting all this weight, bouncing on their back, going through squats, and they're saying, man, it's nothing like being strong, moving heavy weight, this is the greatest way to train. Then he watches another video of the bodybuilder. The bodybuilder's flexing and he's like thinking about his muscle, and he's showing you how sexy he looks and making his muscles look all rippled and chiseled, and he's like, this is the only way to do it, all that other stuff is bullshit, who cares about chin-ups and doing calisthenics, when really, right? Then you got Elliot Hulse saying that you got to be able to perform, you got to strengthen your thoracic extension so you have good posture, and so you can jump, and so you can sprint, and so that you can flip tires and lift stones. What the fuck do I do? He's got all this conflicting information, all these different ideas. He loves them all, but he doesn't know which one is right. Who should I listen to? You should, if you've been listening to me, you must be new. Because if you've been listening to me long enough, the answer is that there is no answer. But if we look at the context through which you asked this question, we look at the deeper issue here and why you have all this anxiety due to information overload. Because really that's what we're all dealing with. We live in the best of the time, the worst of the times. It's the best of the times because we communicate like the human race has never communicated ever before in the history of this fucking planet. I mean, it was only 100 years ago when most people couldn't read. A few hundred years before that, there were no books, right? Before that, they just invented the alphabet. I mean, it wasn't that long ago before mankind started like jotting shit down. Now, we just pop. Somebody in India just read my shit. So right now, who's watching this? I mean, you could be in Siberia. I don't know, you could be anywhere in the fucking world and I'm communicating with you. So it's the best of the time because there's so much that you can absorb, but it's the worst of the time because if you're not prepared for how to handle all this information, it will create anxiety, and that's where the majority of us are. And that's why a lot of us develop a great breadth of knowledge, understanding, but no real depth, no real mastery. And when we see someone who seems to have mastered something, we're drawn to them. And then when we see someone else that's mastered something, because obviously they're all talking to us, we're drawn to that person, and then we're split. Here's a concept that I think is fascinating, and it's not a new concept. It's one that has allowed many of our greatest geniuses to become the unique geniuses they are. And I'm thinking in particular of Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was not just a painter. He was not just a sculptor. He was not just an architect. I mean, the man became great at many different things, and you could not pin him down. He was merely who he was. Leonardo da Vinci. Today, and he had to do that with years and years of studying intricate details from great masters and perhaps traveling in order to make that happen. You and I, we just go to fucking Wikipedia and then go to the references and read all the books associated with it. And then, if you're like me, you go and you study with masters. I like to actually go and study with mentors, right? Because that's where you read the real source of wisdom is found in standing next to the man or at the feet of the master, you see. So find masters that you can get close to. But this is a concept that is brand new, and it's one that I've come to embrace and I think is magnificent. We live in the day and age of the remix. The remix. I'm not just talking about Puff Daddy remixes where he's taking music from the 70s and blending it with, you know, auto-tone bullshit from today, and I call it bullshit, but it's not bullshit. It's musical. It's beautiful. It's a fucking remix. We are living in a day and age where you can literally take bits and pieces of the things that you have decided to become great at, the things that you have the greatest interests in, and blend them together to make something brand fucking new. I am an example of a remix. And watch my videos from this channel, from my other channel, and watch it over the span of time, from 2007 when I made my first video to today. I have delved into this study and immersed myself in multiple different forms of physicality and psychology, philosophy, right? I take all the things that I love and I really study them, and then I make something brand new. There's nothing wrong with having multiple interests. A lot of people don't like that, right? When I first started like speaking philosophically in these videos, and then especially on my other channel, people were like, stick to fucking weight training, Elliot. Stick to bodybuilding. Just lift some weights, dude. And people don't do that anymore because they realize, okay, this motherfucker is just remixing shit. This motherfucker is not going to be pinned down to one thing. He's going to say what he thinks, and he's going to continue evolving by deepening his knowledge in different areas and then making something brand fucking new. How many powerlifting, bodybuilding strongmen stand in front of the camera and talk about philosophy and Jesus and the universe and all the weird shit that I talk about, sex and politics? I'm remixing, motherfucker. I'm not being pinned down, and you shouldn't allow yourself to be pinned down either. If you see all these magnificent people doing all these magnificent things, and some of them speak to your heart, take one at a time and get very, very good at them. So you see the bar star guys, right? You see the guys that are working on the gymnastic things outside, right? Now, here's the thing, don't get wrapped up in anybody's dogma. They'll all feed you this idea that it's the one and only way. Nah, there's no one and only way. But take it for what it is. If that's what they tell you, say, okay, yes, just cool, just teach it to me. And you go and you spend years, months or years, studying and getting very fucking good at that thing, right? You get great at bar star gymnastics, like doing all the weird flipping shit on the bars, right? You take that and you become a master at that. And with the right study and practice, it won't take but a few years. A few years is a drop, you know, a year, 2, 3 years maybe, 3 years at max, to really become a master. When I say a master, it just means that you're ahead of 99% of the population with regard to how to do that. Doesn't take much. Most people are so scatterbrained, and so there's no depth to them. They never take the time to study anything. That, you know, it doesn't take much to be on top of the pile. You become that guy on the top of that pile, but you never forgot how much you loved bodybuilding, right? And then you take everything that you learned. This is how true creativity happens. The remix generation, the remix creativity that we're developing right now. Right? We're creating a whole new brand of brilliance. You take that body weight training, gymnastic, bar star, outside stuff that you became a master in, and then you apply it. You take what is useful. This is a Bruce Lee thing. Take what is useful, get rid of the rest, get rid of the dogma first. Take the pieces that you know are going to help you develop more dense, more functional, more aesthetically pleasing muscle, and you bring it over to bodybuilding. Now, when you come to bodybuilding with the mastery of gymnastic training, and you create something brand fucking new, like how did you create that little thing on your muscle that looks like, you know, nobody else has that over here? You say, because I used what I learned from my gymnastics days. And you developed a brand new form of bodybuilding. And of course, I'm being facetious here, I'm just making shit up. But you do that throughout your life with all the different pieces of things that you enjoy. I enjoy reading philosophy and psychology. I'm a strength coach. I bring the depth of ideas that I receive from studying philosophy and psychology, and I use it all. I share it all as a metaphor called strength, called becoming the strongest version of yourself, called, hey, grow stronger. Now, when you hear Elliott Hulse say grow stronger, it's not the same grow stronger that was talked about before there was an Elliott Hulse. Elliott Hulse remixed a whole lot of shit and created the strongest version of yourself. Do you see what I did there? That's what you go do. You go get really good at the shit that your heart is telling you to get really good at, and then you remix it up and create something brand fucking new. Good luck.
Yo, Elliot.